Yesterday, we talked about writing a letter and the correct form to write an actual letter to somebody. And I thought, you know what? If I teach first graders how to write a letter, they're probably going to want to send that letter. Because why would you write a letter if you don't send it? And I thought, uh-oh, if first graders want to send a letter, they're gonna have to know how to address an envelope. So today we're gonna learn how to address an envelope. Now, the very first thing I have is an actual envelope, and I wanted to show you. Here's my envelope. It's just a plain white envelope. It's got a front and a back, and I'm gonna write on the front side of the envelope. But when I write on this envelope, I am not going to use pencil to write on the envelope. Do you know why? Because pencil can get erased and pencils can be rubbed off. And so you're going to actually want to send this letter through the United States Postal Service. And if you write with a pencil, yeah, it might get all smudged and the postman won't know where to deliver your letter. So, no pencil for me. Don't throw your pencil. The other thing that I have, because I know you guys are all at home, I have a smelly marker at my home. So I thought, well, I'll just write on my envelope with the smelly marker. So let me get my smelly marker ready. Now, if I write on my envelope with my smelly marker, let me see if I can get the whole name on here. I'm going to write a letter to my dad. And his name is Mr. Tommy Courtney. Oh no, C-O-U-R-T. Ugh, you guys, you know what I'm deciding? Is that a smelly marker is probably not the best thing to use to write an envelope either, because it's too big. Yeah, and so you need to find something that you can write with that will stay on the envelope and not get smudged off and is not super giant, like a pen. Do you guys have pens at your house? I know usually in first grade we use pencils for our work that might need to be erased, but the envelope is not going to need to be erased, so you need to grab a pen, and if you don't have one, you can ask your mom or dad for one. So let me show you. I'll put down this book here. Sorry, I'm a little not as organized as I want it to be. Let me show you on this paper right here how to actually write to address an envelope. Look at that. I addressed it to my dad. His name is Mr. Tommy Courtney, and I put my address on there. Why would I do that, you guys? So look, I told the postman where to send my letter and who I'm sending it to, but why did I put my name on there too? What do you think? Yeah, that's one reason, to tell the person who the letter is from. But what we call that address right there, when I put my own address, we call it the return address. So maybe if the postman gets all the way to my dad's house and he can't find my dad's house, or something's wrong with the mailbox, or maybe my letter gets damaged in the mail, the postman will know where to return it, where it came from. So these are the two things for an envelope. You need to put on who you're sending the letter to and who the letter is from. Now, I actually did a little thing right here that we're gonna put on the Google Classroom so that you can remember. But what you need to do for your envelope, when you're addressing who it is to, you always put it on this part of the envelope, and then the return address goes in the very left top corner. Okay, that's always the return address, because if you put your name here, the postman's going to deliver it back to you, and that wouldn't make sense. So put the person's name who the letter is for. So I wrote, put the name. Who is this letter to? Put their name right there. Just like on my envelope to my dad, I put his name first, Mr. Tommy Courtney. Now the second thing that you're going to put is the person's mailing address. Now, a lot of times your mailing address is just your street name and the number of your apartment or the number of your house, and that's okay. But I actually have a post office box, so I wouldn't put my street address for my mailing address, because even though I live on Bryn Mawr Street, all of my mail goes to the San Rafael post office, to my post office box. So make sure that you get the person's mailing address. And when you put their address right here, then you're going to put the city they live in, the state they live in, and their zip code. The zip code is what helps the postman know where to take your letter. And then if you're writing to someone in a different country, you go ahead and put their country at the bottom. But if you're writing to a person that's in the United States and you are also in the United States, then you don't have to put the country. Now, same thing for the return address. In the left corner at the very top of the envelope, you're going to put your name, because you're the one who's writing the letter, right? Who is this letter from? Put your name right there. And then very carefully write your mailing address next. And then put the city you live in, comma, the state you live in, comma, and the zip code. So let's look at my letter right here. I am writing to my dad. His name is Mr. Tommy Courtney. I put this in very clear letters so that the postman can read it. My dad lives at 1048 Harmony Road. That's his mailing address. His city is called Crystal Springs, comma. His state is Mississippi, and then I put the zip code right there. But then when I put my return address, I put my name, Rebecca Courtney, and then I put my P.O. box. P.O. stands for post office. So my post office box number is 151538. So I put it all right there, 151538. My city is San Rafael, which is your city too, a lot of you. My state is California, and my zip code is 94915. You guys, that's actually my post office box. And if you write me a letter, I'll totally write you back, okay? I promise I will. Now, the last thing that you have to do on your envelope is, the postman is not going to deliver your envelope for free. He's not going to deliver your letter for free. And what you have to do is put a stamp on it. Now, maybe your mom and dad have stamps in the house somewhere. I happen to have some stamps already too, left over from last year at Christmas when I sent my Christmas cards. So my stamps have Santa Claus on them. So that's okay. It's okay to have stamps with Santa Claus on them. So I'm going to peel off one of my stamps. There we go. And the stamp, should I put the stamp on top of my address? No way. How will the postman know where it came from? Should I put the stamp like on top of my dad's address somewhere? No way. You guys, just like your return address always goes in the left-hand top corner, the stamp always goes in the right-hand top corner. That's where the stamp goes, and that will help the postman take your mail and deliver it all the way to whoever you want your letter to go to. Now, all I have to do is put my letter inside my envelope, seal it up really good, and put it in the post box, and the postman will deliver it to my dad.